We got week 2 of the Hut trade deadline event, and unfortunately it operates very similar to week 1. Every creator, player, streamer has all been extremely critical of this event, deeming it probably the worst Hut event we've ever had. And while week 2 they did try to fix some of the issues with it, it still roughly has the worst aspects that came with week 1. However, there is a way, I believe, that we can really milk this event for Team of the Season. Let's get into it. First things first, let's take a look at the Master Set player items for this event. Starting with the 94 Marcus Naslund, 6 foot 190 with playmaking and sniper forward, as well as playmaking, shooting, and agile dangler boost. He's got 96 speed, acceleration, agility, 95 balance, and 90 endurance. A maxed out shot. Hand stats are all great. Really kind of what we've seen throughout. They're all roughly around the same attribute build. He's got Goldborn Leader, which has proven to be a very good ability this year. Elite Edges, Shrug It Off, and Make It Snappy are all great abilities as well. The issue here, he's obviously a left-handed winger. We have about 50 of those, and they're all kind of better than this Marcus Naslund card. On to Dwayne Rollison. Now, in potentially my hottest take when it comes to jerseys and uniforms, that is the best look for the Edmonton Oilers. Bring back the copper. Card art, 10 out of 10. The Master Set player, like a 1. 6'1", 170. He's got gold light work and all of the good abilities, but he's 6'1". They even attempted to try and make smaller goaltenders a little bit more viable. That still isn't the case. I really wish that the EA could figure out how to make smaller goaltenders more effective, because it's pretty unfair that some of the best players that we've ever had in the game just aren't able to be used in Hut. Next, we've got 94 Philip Forsberg in one of the funniest trades that you will ever see, as it was franchise changing, to be honest with you. Martin Erat for Philip Forsberg continues to be one of the gold standards in fleeces, and I do need to say, he is one of my favorite players that I've ever had the pleasure of meeting in real life. 6'1", 205. He's got two-way and sniper forward, as well as defensive, playmaking, agile dangler boost, gold make it snappy, backhand beauty, unstoppable force, and puck on a string. So again, usable abilities. Make it snappy has proven to be one of the better ones as well. 96 speed, excel, and agility, 93 balance, high 90 shooting, high 90s hand stats, and a good body checking at 93 overall. There are far fewer right-handed forwards that are as impactful as left-handed, but this Philip Forsberg card is actually pretty strong. Next, we've got Brendan Montour for the Florida Panthers at 6 foot 194. He's got offensive and two-way, as well as defensive, playmaking, and accelerator boost. Accelerator boost boosts him to 97 acceleration, giving him 94 agility, balance, as well as 95 speed. So a very good skating right-handed defenseman, albeit a little bit smaller. He does have gold shutdown, which in my opinion is still one of the best abilities. However, there are far more right-handed defensemen that are going to be better, that would probably play higher in your lineup. For example, the 94 Dougie Hamilton that we just got. Quick Pick, however, is a fantastic ability, and Heat Seeker has its fun as well. All in all, is still good right-handed defenseman. And then lastly, we've got the 94 Keith Tkachuk, 6'2", 235. The best part about this card is that you can now do a line of Brady, Matthew, and Keith, so kind of a fun theme team thing. Sniper forward and power forward, as well as defensive, checking, and shooting boost, 95 speed and excel, 93 agility, 99 balance, a good shot, mid-hand stats, and then very aggressive, 95 body checking, 99 strength, and has 85 face-offs. Defensive boost can get it into the high 80s, but again, it's not going to be great for you. Back at you is fun, especially with the buff to reverse hitting, truculence, obviously, close quarters, and unstoppable force. This is a very fun build. So let's talk about the changes with week 2. The first and probably the biggest one is that all of the overalls can be pulled, meaning that you can pull an 87 Naslund as well as a 92 and a 94, which effectively means that you can get a discount on getting the 94 overall if you want to upgrade them all of the way. The other big change is that they are offering a ton of event collectibles via objectives. In the new objective path for week 2, you can get a massive amount of event collectibles. On top of that, the new Hut Rush reward path also offers 26 trade deadline collectibles. One step further in the live moments for week 2, they now offer the specific cards upgrade item, which is how it should have always been. So for each of the week 2 live moments, you will get 10 for that specific card, those 50 overall cards that you've seen throughout week 1. The biggest issue, however, is that they did not give us specific sets for each of the Master Set items. That means, once again, you are getting completely random 50 overall cards for the 5 Master Set players for week 2. Nothing has changed in terms of the cost. To get the 85 to start the actual upgrade path, you will need 8 trade deadline collectibles. These go for about 3,000 coins each. The good news here is that you can pick up the 85 for a far more discounted price, so you don't need to spend your fodder, so you don't need to spend your collection trying to make them because you can buy the 85 for cheaper than 8 times 3,000. Now, these limited sets, like a 1-for-1 trade-in, trading in 5 deadline collectibles will net you 5 random upgrade items. Again, you cannot guarantee what you are going to get, which means that if you wanted to make Philip Forsberg, you could do 10 of these sets and literally get 0 Philip Forsberg upgrade item. The odds of that are incredible, but still, you can see the issue here. They have not fixed that underlying problem with this event. However, what they inadvertently did with all of the rewards to try and justify making one of these Master Set players is give us a pretty lucrative way to prepare for Team of the Season, which is coming shortly. So, since all of the Master Set players don't have anyone that is kind of a must-make if you are looking for a competitive card, and let's say you're not a fan of any of the teams that Master Set players represent, add on to the fact that this event is absolutely abysmal in terms of value to the player base, here's what I'd recommend. When it comes to Hockey Ultimate Team, I always recommend that you take the risk-adverse way. I like to show you guys how to guarantee yourself rewards as opposed to relying on gambling, because 99% of the time, you're never going to win. So in the trade deadline sets, each of the Master Set players to start the upgrade path requires you to get 8 trade deadline collectibles. In the reward path alone, you get over 100, including Hut Rush. This is very easy to do, and obviously guaranteed. Once you have created all 5 of the Master Set players at 85 overall, this is where you can take advantage of the value. Again, how you get those trade deadline collectibles is completely up to you. Finishing week 1, you could also do the NHL Scout week 2, which offers a ton as well, with just throwing in various trade deadline player items. And again, those 85 overall Master Set players also count, as well as the trade deadline week 2 that offers a ton by just completing games. Again, the more that you have in the lineup, the less amount of games required. Just do 2-minute squad battle. Once you have made all 5 of these 85 overall Master Set players, head on over to the moments, and remember that in week 2, they gave you 10 upgrade items for each of the 5 players. Each of the moments will offer you an upgrade item, 10 in total for each moment. What that means is that with 40 trade deadline collectibles, you've basically guaranteed yourself to have 5 87 overall players, because once you've made the 85, 4 will get you the 86, 6 more will get you the 87. Again, this is completely free. Now, to go to 88 and 89 and above, obviously, it is going to require far more trade deadline player items. Those are the 50 overall cards for that specific player, and that's going to require some luck. However, just using averages, if you were to finish out the objective path as well as Hut Rush, and you have about 100 trade deadline collectibles in total, minusing the 40 that it took to make the 85 overall player items, you can do this repeatable set, which is 5 trade deadline players, and it will net you 5 random trade deadline upgrade items for week 2. With 60 trade deadline collectibles, that means you can do 12 of these packs. Even if your odds were pretty brutal, you're going to at least be able to make a few of the 87s into 88s just by simple averages, and if you pull a ton of one of the player items, you could even get them up to their 89, which is important. Now, what I would do is I would not commit to those upgrades as they happen. I would open up as many of these packs as you can before committing, because then again, you can do the reroll, which would allow you to trade in 5 of these items. Let's say you have a Master Set player that you received like 7. It was very small amount because it is random. You can get some trade deadline collectibles back and then do it again. The reason why this is important is because when Team of the Season comes out, the collectible path is roughly going to cost what power-up collectibles cost. That's kind of where they've kept the value. So if you can get 2 or 3 89 overalls from this Master Set event, you've just net yourself 5 power-up collectibles or 5 Team of the Season collectibles when they come out. I would not go past 89 because there's no guarantee that they actually put a 90 trade in. At some point, I would think they would, but they seemingly just forget about this stuff halfway through the year. The other thing to note about Hut Rush, which is what I would tackle first, is that throughout all of the event collectibles you'll also get another 85 Nino Niederreiter and the 87 Jake McCabe. Again, decently high-rated cards that you can use for trade-ins, whether it be for power-up collectibles or Team of the Season collectible. The bonus to completing Hut Rush first is that you will have more items available to you to throw in your lineup for the trade deadline objectives that will net you cards when you play squad battles or whatever you want to play to get the objectives done. For example, another 87 in the Jordan Greenway from this objective path will help you for trade-ins in the future as well. As you can see, it's a lot of work to make this event have any sort of value to the player base. I can appreciate them trying to change and trying to spice up events, but we've had the exact same content format for 7 years now. There is no reinventing the wheel to make this any more effective. I hope that they never do anything like this again, but I hope this video, it helps you get some value out of your time from the trade deadline event. Let me know what you think in the comments section down below.